It is late, and I am sitting here thinking about the journey to that first major milestone. Reaching $100,000 at 26 was not a result of some explosive secret or a lucky gamble. On a meme stock, I used to think that wealth was a performance or a loud declaration of success. I thought I had to be the smartest person in the room and outwork everyone until I burned out. Until I realized that wealth is actually a byproduct of being remarkably boring and consistent. There is a certain piece in the math that no hype can ever replicate. Let us just sit down and have an honest conversation about how this actually happened. I graduated in 2020 and stepped into a world that felt like it was shifting under my feet back then. I looked at my bank account and felt a sense of heavy static. I was working a corporate job and felt like I was running on a treadmill that never moved. I realized that my biggest enemy was not the economy, but my own psychology and decision fatigue. Human beings are not designed to make 50 perfect choices every single day. The first thing I did was accept that my willpower is a fragile and limited resource. I stopped trying to force myself to save money through sheer grit and discipline. Instead, I built a system that made saving the default setting of my life. I set up an automatic transfer that moved a percentage of my paycheck before I ever saw it. This is the first tiny habit that changed everything for me. I treat that money as if it never existed in the first place. If the money is not there, I cannot spend it on things that do not matter. This simple automation removed the emotional friction of parting with my cash. It turned a difficult monthly choice into a silent background process. Another habit I started was spending 2 minutes every morning in complete stillness. I stay in bed and think about 3 things I am genuinely grateful for. This might sound like a soft approach for a finance video, but it is actually a defensive strategy. When you start your day with a sense of enough, you are less likely to seek fulfillment in consumption. Gratitude is a shield against the marketing machines that want you to feel incomplete. It keeps your internal frequency steady so you can spot real opportunities instead of distractions. Then I looked at how I was wasting my mental energy on small chores. I started batching my time because context switching was killing my focus. Every Sunday, I spend a few hours doing all my grocery shopping and meal preparation. It saves me hours of indecision during the busy work week. It also saves me thousands of dollars a year because I am never ordering food out of desperation. Wealth is often just the accumulation of avoided waste. I apply the same logic to my professional appearance and meetings. If I have to look presentable for a video or a client call, I do it all on one specific day. The rest of the time, I am in my comfort zone focusing on the deep work that actually generates income. Now we have to talk about the stock market because it is the most misunderstood tool we have. I do not trade and I do not follow the frantic daily cycles of the news. I use a strategy called dollar cost averaging into broad market index funds like VTI. It is the most unglamorous way to invest, and that is exactly why it works. I buy the same dollar amount of the same funds every single month. When the market is crashing, I am buying more shares at a heavy discount. When the market is at an all-time high, I am still buying because time in the market beats timing the market. This removes the ego from the equation and lets the math do the heavy lifting. I do not need to be a genius if I am willing to be patient and disciplined. Eating the frog is another habit that changed my daily productivity. I do the hardest and most high-stakes task first thing in the morning when my brain juice is fresh. For me, this was often looking at my debts or working on a complex financial model. Once the big task is done, the rest of the day feels light and manageable. Procrastination is usually just fear in disguise, and eating the frog is the cure for that fear. Writing down goals is another practice I swear by because it creates a physical anchor. One study suggests you are 42% more likely to hit a goal if you write it down. I keep a physical notebook where I track my net worth and my long-term vision. Seeing the numbers grow on paper makes the abstract goal feel like a tangible reality. It keeps me focused on the signal and helps me ignore the noise. Speaking of noise, we have to address our relationship with social media. It is designed to keep us scrolling and comparing our behind the scenes to everyone else. As highlight reel, I use screen time limits to ensure I am using these platforms intentionally. I use them to network and learn, not to mindlessly consume. Your attention is a currency, and you should spend it as carefully as your money. I also had to learn the difficult lesson of delegation. I grew up thinking that doing everything myself was a badge of honor, but as I started valuing my time, I realized that some chores were costing me more than they were worth. If I can pay $20 to save 3 hours of time, I am buying my life back. That time can be used to rest, to learn a new skill, or to work on a project with a high return. Health is another form of wealth that we often neglect in our 20s. I make it a non-negotiable to get 30 minutes of sunlight every single day. It regulates my mood and my energy levels in a way that coffee never can. You cannot build a legacy if you are physically and mentally depleted. Sunlight is free, and it is one of the best investments you can make in your own longevity. Every month, I perform an audit of my spending. I do not do this to punish myself or to live a life of extreme deprivation. I do it to build awareness because awareness naturally shifts behavior. I look for ghost subscriptions and recurring charges for things I no longer use. You do not get wealthy by being careless with the small numbers. I keep a why. I am awesome file in my Google Drive to document my professional wins. It is a running list of every project I finished and every positive result I delivered. When it comes time for my annual review at my corporate job, I do not have to guess my value. I have a folder full of hard evidence agreements, and cold numbers. This folder was the key to negotiating the raises that funded my investment accounts. If you do not advocate for yourself, no one else will. I also never go to the grocery store while I am hungry, and I always have a list. It sounds trivial, but the impulse buys in a grocery store can add up to hundreds of dollars a month. Discipline in the small things leads to discipline in the big things. I try to eliminate decision fatigue by automating my daily routine. I eat the same breakfast, and I have a very simple rotation of clothing. I want to save my creative energy for the work that actually moves the needle. The most successful people I know are the ones who have the simplest daily lives. I also listen to audiobooks about finance and economics whenever I am doing chores. This turns dead time into productive learning time. I have listened to dozens of books while washing dishes or walking my dog. This habit has completely reshaped my mental models of how money and the world work. Building a network is another essential part of the journey. I try to have lunch with one new person every month just to listen and learn. Wealth is often about who you know and the opportunities they can point you toward. Social capital is a real asset that grows over time through genuine connection. I follow the 30-30 rule for my physical energy, that is 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up. It keeps my blood sugar stable and prevents the mid-afternoon slump that kills my output. I also make sure to maintain my relationships by sending voice notes or texts to my friends. Wealth is meaningless if you have no one to share your life with. Emotional well-being is the foundation that all financial success is built upon. I do one thing every day that purely makes me happy without any productivity goal. Whether it is watching a show or walking in the park, joy is the fuel for the long haul. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and you need to keep your spirit nourished. I also use my free time to build additional income streams. The internet has democratized the ability to create value outside of a 9-to-5. I spent my weekends building this platform because I wanted to own my time. Even 2 hours a week can compound into a significant asset over a few years. Finally, I track my net worth once a month to stay grounded in reality. Net worth is the ultimate scorecard because it accounts for both what you have and what you owe. Seeing that number grow gives me the confidence to keep going. When things feel slow, building wealth is not about one big move. It is about 1,000 tiny moves made in the right direction. I am not a genius, I am just someone who decided to stop fighting the math. If you start today, you are already ahead of 90% of the population. Pick one of these habits and let it run for a month. You will be surprised at how quickly the momentum starts to build. I hope this conversation helps you find your own path to clarity. Thank you for being here with me. I will see you next time, same place. It is 2026 and we have more tools than ever to build a life of freedom. Do not let the noise of the world distract you from the simple truth of the numbers. When I was 22, I thought $100,000 was an impossible mountain. Now that I am 26, I see that it was just a series of small steps. The hardest part is the beginning when the results are invisible. You have to trust the process even when the spreadsheet is not moving much. Compound interest is a backloaded phenomenon. The first years are slow, but the later years are explosive. Stay in the game and do not let temporary setbacks shake your resolve. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make tonight. Every dollar you invest today is a seed for a tree you will sit under tomorrow. Keep it simple and keep it consistent. The math never lies and it never sleeps. It is the only thing in this world that you can truly rely on. I believe in your ability to build a life that you are proud of. Take it one step at a time and do not look back. The quiet path is usually the one that leads to the most enduring success. I remember feeling so much pressure to prove myself. I thought I had to have all the answers by age 25, but the truth is that life is a long game of adjustments and learning. I am still learning every single day. I am still refining my systems and my habits. The beauty of this journey is that you can always start over. You can always decide that today is the day you take control of your finances. It does not matter where you are starting from. It only matters where you are going. Let the boring math guide you through the fog of the hype. You do not need a lucky break if you have a solid system. This is how I reached my first $100,000 and how I plan to reach my next million. It is not magic, it is just focus. I want you to feel that same sense of peace that I feel. Now it comes from knowing exactly where you stand and where you are headed. It comes from the silence of a well-oiled machine, no more guessing and no more hoping for a miracle. Just the quiet certainty of the numbers. I appreciate you listening to my story and my reflections. This community means a lot to me, and I hope we can keep growing together. Wealth is not just about the money in the bank, it is about the freedom to live life on your own terms. It is about the ability to help others and to follow your passions. That is the real goal we are working toward. The $100,000 is just a milestone along the way. Stay grounded and stay focused on what truly matters. I will catch you in the next video. Until then, keep building and keep believing in the process. It works if you work it. This is DDO5 and I am signing off for tonight. Get some rest and wake up ready to move the needle. One tiny habit at a time, $1 at a time. The path is open and the math is on your side. Good night and take care of yourself. I will see you very soon. Peace. I am looking at the clock and realizing how much ground we have covered. It is important to remember that every giant was once a beginner. Do not compare your day 1 to someone else. Day 1000, your journey is unique and your pace is your own. Just do not stop moving. The compounding effect is waiting for you to commit. It is a force of nature that rewards the patient. Be the person who can wait for the harvest. Be the person who values truth over trends. That is the secret to a life of abundance. I am glad we had this talk. It reminds me why I started this channel in the first place. To share the unvarnished reality of building a foundation. No filters and no fluff. Just the work and the rewards. I am proud of the progress you are making. Keep going and never lose sight of your why. Your why is what will get you through the boring parts. And the boring parts are where the magic actually happens. Stay humble and stay hungry for the right things. I will be here with you every step of the way. Let us make the most of the time we have. It is the most precious asset we possess. Invest it wisely, take care, and I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Remember that $100,000 is just the beginning of your story. There is so much more ahead of you. Dream big, but act small. The small acts are the ones that stick. They are the ones that define your character and your future. Good luck, and I am rooting for you. See you soon. Peace. As the world sleeps, the systems we build continue to work. That is the beauty of automation and compound interest. You are building a future while you rest. You are creating a legacy through your quiet discipline. It is a noble pursuit. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. The world needs more people who are grounded and financially secure. It allows you to be a force for good. It allows you to be present for the people you love. That is the ultimate return on investment. I am signing off now. Thank you for your time and your attention. It means the world to me. Take a deep breath and know that you are on the right path. The math is working for you. The future is bright. Sleep well, and I will talk to you soon. Peace. The road to $100,000 taught me more about myself than it did about money. It taught me that I am capable of long-term thinking. It taught me that I do not need external validation to feel successful. The numbers on the screen were just a reflection of internal growth. When you change your habits, you change your identity. I no longer see myself as someone struggling to get by. I see myself as an investor and a builder. This shift in identity is more valuable than the cash itself. Once you prove to yourself that you can save $10,000, you can save $100,000. And once you hit $100,000, the million is just a matter of time. The belief in your own system is the ultimate wealth. It provides a level of security that no job can ever offer. I want you to feel that same level of self-reliance. It starts with the tiny habits we discussed tonight. Do not overlook the small things. They are the bricks that build the cathedral. Every list made and every dollar automated is a brick. Keep building and do not look for shortcuts. The long way is the only way that lasts. I am honored to be a part of your financial journey. Let us keep pushing forward and reaching for those milestones. We are in this together. Have a wonderful night and a productive week. I am looking forward to our next talk. Take care. Peace. One final thought before I go. The first $100,000 is the hardest. The friction is at its peak and the results are at their lowest. But once you cross that line, the momentum shifts in your favor. The gravity of your wealth starts to pull in more wealth. It becomes easier to grow. So if you are in the middle of the grind right now, do not give up. You are doing the hardest part of the work. The rewards are coming and they will be greater than you imagine. Trust the math and trust yourself. You have everything you need to succeed. I will see you in the next video. Good night. Peace.